Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's NanzNaturally. I wanted to do a video on my weight loss journey. The algorithm has been showing me videos of other people's weight loss journeys, but I thought my journey's been a bit different, and I wanted to just share that with you guys. Also because some people have been asking me in person, so I think I took some time to try and understand like what truly changed, because it feels like I haven't done anything, but upon introspection I've actually done quite a bit. um, so just to set the backdrop, I used to so growing up I used to have disordered eating, and I guess like yeah, I used to have disordered eating for the purposes of weight loss, because I had like a matric dance coming up, or as you go through puberty and getting older, like those pressures of how you look, and wanting like a thigh gap and all these different things, flat stomach, like those things come into play. Um, so and also I used to be in sports, so I was relatively like a fit person, but my body has always been like thick, right? And so I wanted to, so losing weight for me, I felt like I had to, at least at that time, I felt like I had to go to extremes in order to see the results I wanted to see, because I was already a fit person, doing sports regularly, going to the gym regularly, but then it's like my body is not the ideal body. So yeah, that through that I developed disordered eating, um, and I tell you guys about that in another weight loss video that I did before, and I'll link that above in the cards. After I left high school and I went to university, like my lifestyle changed a lot, because I didn't have like the sports element of things anymore. I then I didn't have access to a gym, so I ended up gaining weight. Um, Even also then during that time, I think probably towards the end of university before graduating, I went on birth control, and I went on like that injection birth control, which made me gain a lot of weight. And I started then working again. um, I was off birth control because I wanted to just get my body back, at least like hormonally I wanted to just get back to normal, and I guess, I don't know, feel like myself again in some respect, because I knew that the hormones really did a number on me. And so for a year or so, I was off birth control, and it went pretty well. I could see my body like slowly like getting rid of the weight naturally. I was back in the gym, like getting back to my strength, and like um, the gym routine that I enjoyed. And then I became pregnant with my son in 2019. No, in 2018. He was born in 2019. Um, and so yeah, since then, since him being born, then I've been sort of like in that postpartum thing. Also, fun fact, I saw a reel that was saying that postpartum nowadays, or at least the research that they're doing, is showing that postpartum can actually be up to 7 years after your child is born. So like that's so interesting. But anyway, so yeah, I breastfed my son for a while, like over a year. And then that also, I think it helped, it made me hold on to weight, because like I was just focused on making sure I had enough milk for him, and if I didn't eat enough, then I wouldn't have milk, and like we wouldn't have that, especially because he was like, he had a lot of allergies and stuff, and for a while like breast milk was the only thing he could eat, so it's like it was all on me. um so yeah, like we got past all of that, and then I guess I got like my body back for myself. um So interesting. I got my body back for myself, but then so that was now going into 2020, and then like we know what happened. COVID happened. So now when I was like finally like getting back going into the gym and stuff, um, COVID happened, and I I I didn't go to the gym for a while, but also now I think like I was kind of back in that university type situation where I didn't have access to a gym, or at least I had relied so much on a physical gym outside the house that I would go to, and that's where I exercise. And like me being able to exercise at home was not like a thing for me. Like I don't think my brain registered that as like proper exercise. Because for me, if I felt like I had a good session if I was sore, if I was like sweating, like my top was like drenched, like that's when I'm like, okay, cool. Like you've done the bare minimum that you needed to do today. So yeah. Um so that kind of COVID dynamic shifted things for me, because then I didn't have access to the gym, but also at the same time, because well I kind of did, because the gym was kind of open, but then you had to wear masks and all these things. But then because I wasn't going as often, because I was also scared of getting COVID, I ended up canceling my gym membership, because I wasn't getting like those, if you have Vitality, like if you go to the gym for a certain amount of times in a year, then you get to keep discounts in terms of the cost of your membership. But I wasn't meeting that, so like my gym membership skyrocketed in price, but then I wasn't really going. So I was like, okay, it just doesn't make sense anymore for me to have this membership, so I stopped. Then I think during that time, it forced me to re-evaluate like how I exercise and what I consider um, healthy exercise, or what I consider to be a successful exercise session. I think also during this time, there was a lot going on in terms of me, my mental state. At work, I was going through quite a bit of stress, a lot of upheavals in that respect. Um, and so, like, I was really stressed. But also, I think up until that point, it wasn't the stress part of it wasn't really new. But I wanted to paint that backdrop, because I think one of the biggest things that really helped me to lose weight was actively reducing my stress levels. I think I have anxiety diagnosed, and I work in a high stress environment, and then also life events were also adding to that. So I feel like that level of stress, that level of tenseness, um, really contributed to me like holding on to weight. I don't know if it has something to do with cortisol levels, but I suspect that it does, because up until that point, I think it's like I could look at weight loss as a mathematical equation, but then the maths was still not mathing in that respect. And so when I got into mindfulness and meditation, and really like actively like calming my central nervous system, like finding proper ways to manage my anxiety, um, I think that is kind of what kickstarted my body getting back to homeostasis. So as much as like this has been a journey where I've lost weight, I think it's more primarily a story of how my body was returning back to optimal function. So now during that period, then also in terms of my lifestyle, I wasn't going to the gym, so all I had available to me was a yoga mat, and it was like weights, like hand weights, right? And I've also, I think in some vlogs that I've uploaded, I've shown you guys like the type of exercises that I would do with those things. And I think switching from high intensity exercising to that low intensity, sometimes like all I do is just stretch. Like sometimes all I can master up for that morning is just to stretch. I think that also really like shifted things, because when I used to go to the gym, I would do 30 minutes of cardio up front, and then I'd do another hour of weight training, like wherever. The hour and a half thing came because like that's how much time I had before I had to pay for petrol or pay for parking. So it's like I made sure like that full hour and a half, like I'm gonna use that up. And I would do, I lifted heavy. I was there like leg pressing 80 Ks. Like I was doing chest presses. I was doing like every day, because you, in a lot of gym programs, you'll see like, oh, there's a leg day, there's an arm day, and even with arms there's a push day and a pull day. Or maybe even with legs, maybe you split um glutes and hamstrings to quads and calves. But for me, every day was a full body day. And sometimes I would push myself to do 4+ days of gym a week. So that's every day is a full body day, and then also that 30 minutes of cardio like up front. So that's how much I was stressing my body every time I went to the gym. And now to contrast that against me just stretching on a mat, um, I have the biggest weight I have is like 4.5 kilograms. So, um, so that's two of those. So that's like the heaviest that I could ever apply to any exercise that I'm doing. Sometimes I would just do body weight exercises, um, yoga, just pure stretching sometimes. Like I remember there was a time when I was like trying to get back to doing the splits, and so I just focused every morning on stretching. So it was interesting to me to just see, oh yeah, so it was interesting to me to see how differently my body reacted to that low intensity versus the high intensity, because I think I always just thought, you know, you have to burn the calories, and then that's what's gonna help. And especially on the cardio side of things, like I always thought like weight loss doesn't happen without cardio. And like now I can't remember the last time I did cardio. I've tried so many times to start skipping, and like I just don't. um I'd rather just stretch, and then I'll do body weight exercises, weights, like maybe arm weights, weighted arm exercises. I do like deadlifts with the dumbbells, uh, squats. I wouldn't do like squats purely. I do not do with dumbbells. That's pure body weight. Um, I would just do like variations in terms of maybe um, like speed. So going down quickly, coming up slowly, coming up, going down slowly, coming up quickly, like those kind of things. Like that's where the variation came in. It wasn't in intensity or like weight. And my body like really, it really reacted well to that. I think, I don't know, maybe it's like it just felt safe to just shed what it no longer deemed necessary to function. And so I think that's the approach that I've been following now. I mean, I do think about, oh, do I want to go back into like a gym setting? But also my lifestyle doesn't really allow for that, because work is a lot longer, like in terms of the time it takes in my day, and then I'm also studying on top of that. So it's like I'd rather just, if I can do it at home, that's so much more convenient, because like commutes because commutes waste so much time. um so yeah, like low intensity exercising was one of the biggest changes that I made. And I saw it was fascinating, like the difference that I saw in terms of that. I think it also helped me to like maintain those low cortisol levels, because even while I'm stretching, even while I'm doing those exercises, I'm not listening to music that's pumping me up, because I don't need that artificial like motivation to get me through this. like I'm listening to affirmations while I'm exercising. So it's like this whole environment that I'm creating for myself is like very calming, very easing, um, non-triggering, non-fight or flight inducing, if that makes sense. Another thing that changed was as I moved out of home, and then in the new place where I live, I started growing more stuff. Just because like I love gardening, I love growing things, because I love seeing how something can turn from a seed and like you can harvest something so nutritious, and forget even nutritious, like it's just you can harvest something, like whether it's a pepper, whether it's a spinach leaf, whether it's you start a tree. And like I have like a branch that I got from a nursery, like there's a nursery where in the parking lot there's a plum tree. Broke off a branch, rooted that branch, and now that branch is like a fully fledged tree that's like creating plums, like it's outside creating plums, like it's growing plums. And then it's so fascinating to me because I think a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, a lot of the goals that I have, um, on the journey, there, or at least like my goals, it's like I'm here, this is where I want to be. But like conceptualizing the journey has been difficult for me. And so seeing that play out through gardening has just helped me holistically in terms of enjoying the process more in like all aspects of my life. But because I've started growing more vegetables, and fruits and all those things, and also because like inflation is inflationing, okay? So a part of it was like, listen, we go to Pick and Pay and we buy onions, but I can grow onions here. Like we go to Woods and we buy spinach, but then the spinach gets expired and it's like I wasted that money, but I can have spinach there growing, waiting for me until I'm ready to use it. And it's not gonna go off, it's just gonna grow more leaves. Like it just made sense. It makes sense. And that's why like it just I keep expanding and expanding. But that now also on the same wave of not wanting to waste that, because we put water into this, like I'm walking outside there, I'm buying insecticides or whatever to like make sure that this stuff is still edible when it's harvest time. um Not wanting to waste that means I've been eating a lot more vegetables than I used to. And I mean, I could have 7 different types of leaves in my omelette every morning if I choose to, just because it's out there in the garden and I have to use it. But then, like those micronutrients that are coming naturally, that are coming into my body naturally through food, other than like the millions of of vitamins that I take, I think that's also had an effect because um, maybe my body can absorb it better, um, process it better, and also there's like it's like there's more of an abundance of it in either case. um, so yeah, my eating has changed. But even on the eating front, um, one thing that I did do when I used to go to work, because I wanted to save money, I wouldn't buy food at the office. So I would try and last as long as possible without buying anything. Like I'd just bring like green tea. They also have like robust tea at the office and stuff. So I'd just bring my tea bags and like I would be there on my tea, surviving as long as I can until I get home to then like eat the food that's in the kitchen or that's in the yard. Um, and then so inadvertently I was intermittent fasting. So that would mean I would wake up and I wouldn't eat until like 4, let's say. Sometimes even until 12. Like sometimes I'd like just go to the office for half the time and then work from home for the rest of the day. But then as I started working from the office longer, like that fasting period increased. So I think also that was another factor. So it was intermittent fasting, from like 8 to 4, and then I'd come home and cook food for us, and then like that's when I eat with everyone else. And then also we're eating healthier foods that we're growing ourselves, which I guess you could consider organic. Yeah, I guess you could consider organic. And also I have a theory around um, you know, eating food that's grown in your environment is the best for you. Like for me, eating carrots from Cape Town won't be as good for me as eating carrots from my neighborhood, because the carrots in my neighborhood are exposed to the elements that I'm in, and maybe they have a chance to adapt to be the most optimal for those who will ingest it in this area. I have a feeling. I have a feeling, but don't hold me to that. But yeah, so healthy eating, definitely that was a factor. But another thing I think to sort of like recover from the disordered eating was I didn't put any restrictions on my eating, like at all. Like as much as I'm eating more vegetables, like if I want to eat a whole slab of chocolate, I will. If I want to eat a whole tub of ice cream, I will. Like there's absolutely no restrictions, even to the point where we deliberately started only eating like full fat stuff. So full cream cottage cheese, full cream milk, um everything, like full cream, the before it's processed, like as little processing as possible in terms of maybe removing of fat, whatever. um Brown sugar, obviously, because that's less processed. um but even like we eat white bread, and like it's not gonna stop. um but in even in that case, like we're not restricting ourselves in that case, you know. um there was a time where every night I would eat a bag of sour worms, like every night, until I got to the point where like my stomach was like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. And then I stopped doing it, and like I don't think I've eaten a sour worm in like a year and a half. No, I'm lying, because I got like this tub full of words that has like sour seeds. Oh, so good, so good, so good. um and also like the toffees, the mint butterscotch toffees, love those. Like I have a colleague at work where we started getting those for each other, because I first tasted it from her, and like they were delicious. But even in that respect, like I eat um I eat junk, essentially. Like I don't restrict myself in that regard. One thing that I did stop though, for about a year or so, I stopped drinking alcohol. And that had like a profound effect. And it was just a natural, like it didn't do anything for me anymore. Like this year, I don't drink alcohol still. The only occasions where I drink alcohol has been for like my friends' birthdays. Um, because we're celebrating. Like I'm not gonna cheers your 30th birthday. Like I'm gonna cheers your 30th birthday with bubbles, you know. Like I'll give you that respect as a human being. Um, but yeah, so like alcohol is not really a factor in my life anymore. Um, so that's another thing. And I won't even lie, like even though I don't drink alcohol anymore, like I'm not even that good with water. I feel like if I drank more water, maybe I would even see better results, faster results. But also it's like I'm not really like looking for it. I think I've like given my body a break. I think everyone, like my mind, my body, my intentions, like we all in agreement. Like, dude, like we no more restriction, um no more stressing ourselves over this thing, you know, um over the appearance of ourself. Like I think it's just rather enjoy it, enjoy your body, enjoy the experience of life in your body, and like everything else will fall into place as you're doing that. So yeah, I think the no drinking of alcohol was definitely uh, a good move, but more importantly, it was like a naturally progressive move. Like it wasn't a I'm 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 going cold turkey and this is really difficult for me. It was not difficult for me to stop drinking alcohol, because I naturally progressed to that. And even now, if I want to drink, I'll drink. Like I don't mind. One thing that I will say, definitely, because I have no restrictions, because I have um, no like harsh expectations on myself or on my body, I let my body do what it needs to do. Like the weight that I've lost has not been a straight line journey. If I can put like a picture of like my fitness pal, because that's where I track my weight, you'll see, like, you know, um and it hasn't been a straight line. There's been periods where I'm like, yo, like I'm eating now, and there's that little thing at the back of my head that's like, oh, you need to start, you need to restrict, like let's chill on this, let's chill on that. But I know that that behavior before did not serve me, and I just let myself eat. If I'm in a month where I'm like eating, I'll eat. Like clearly my body needs to eat. It needs food. So I'm gonna give it food. Like I listen to my body. Like I think that intuitive eating, it's it's not only for the purpose of understanding when you're hungry or when you're not, or it's not only for the purpose of stopping when you're no longer hungry. Like if you're hungry, eat. And if you're hungry like 12 hours of the day, eat for those 12 hours of the day. But like you'd be surprised like how well your body receives that, because there's been times where even now I just got off one of those like I don't know, loading loading cycles where I was just eating. I was just eating pasta, bread, all of the above, and I was gaining weight. And then I just finished my cycle like a week or so ago, and I weighed myself, and I'm like the lowest I've ever been as an adult. I'm like, oh, okay, so whatever you needed to do, you did it, and now we back. Like we back on the way down, in terms of the scale. So it's like I think trusting my body, just letting it do what it needs to do, has been the biggest key um, of weight loss for me. Um, I won't even lie, and like this may get you guys like off track if you this may get you guys off track if you don't believe in this stuff. But like I don't think it's a belief, it's just an experiment that I've been running. But it's so funny how it coincides with like my weight loss journey. In terms of human design, shout out to Terra by Bronx, they taught me all about this. And IJD. In terms of human design, I'm a generator, and so how my body feels about something, that intuition that I have within me, is like what I should be led by, right? But as a person, like me growing up, I've always been led by my brain. I've always been like, my head always takes the lead in like the decisions that I make, and I kind of shut down my intuition. And this weight loss journey for me as a generator has been the most generator type weight loss journey I've ever been on. Because if I don't want to do it, I won't do it. If it doesn't feel right, like I could have run a marathon yesterday, or not even, like that's a little far-fetched. Um I could be in a routine of like exercising every day, and like, it's just it gels, it's going well. And then maybe for a week, for a month, like I'm just not feeling it. Like I don't even want to sit on the floor to stretch. I will not do it. I will not do it. And trust and believe, if I'm gonna lose weight, I will lose weight. Like, there's been so many times where I've not exercised, like I've gotten off that regular exercise schedule and I'm still losing weight. Or then I get back on it and I continue to lose weight, but it's because I'm completely led by my body, like completely. My head no longer plays a factor in that respect. And like, I think it's so much better for me, at least that way, because I am a generator. Um, if you're interested, like, look up Terabyte Rocks. They talk about it a lot on Twitter. I think they also do videos on it. But yeah, I don't know, like, that's literally something that I realized now while filming this video, that my journey has been very much aligned with my human design. But yeah, the giving myself a break in terms of restriction, calorie counting, intense exercise, and going completely on the opposite side of things. No intensity workouts, stretching sometimes is all I do. Eating more natural vegetables, produce, because I grow it, and it's like something that I willingly put effort into because it's something I'm interested in. How intermittent fasting just automatically became a part of my lifestyle because I was saving money. I didn't want to buy food, so I didn't eat while I wasn't at home. And intuitive eating, true intuitive eating. Like, if we are bulking for a marathon with no marathon the next day, then so be it. And like, our body will thank us for it. Like, I can't understand why my body wants more food sometimes and it wants less food sometimes, but it's not for me to understand. It's just for me to be led by. And that's like, I don't think I can really like do it any other way going forward. I just wanted to like share that with you guys, because there's a lot of different ways that people have lost weight. I mean, I've done keto, I've done restrictive eating, I've counted calories, I've done weight loss, not weight loss, that's what we're talking about. I've done Weightloss. Weightloss was really good. I loved Weightloss just because it was like a very holistic eating. Like, it didn't feel like restriction, but you still had to like count and weigh, which is I don't have the time for, or the will. Like, I don't have the will for. I could probably make the time for it, but I don't have the will. I've done like all those things, like you eat fruit the one day, you eat vegetables the next day, you eat tomatoes and beef the next day. Like, I've done them all. But it's so interesting how this has been the thing that works. And it's funny enough, it's like it couldn't be more sustainable. Like, this lifestyle could not be any more sustainable. I think sometimes I wonder, like, like, I hope, because I don't know where my body's gonna go. Or I don't know like what my terminal weight is gonna be. But like, whatever it is, that's what it is. And like, that's where it's supposed to be. And I think it's nice to just give up wanting to have control in that aspect. So yeah, I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments if it's something you want to try. It may be like a big weight off your shoulders to try it, because I remember when like what I was gonna eat used to occupy 80% of my day, of my waking day. And that's difficult. That's a lot. That's a lot of time taken away from you. So let me know in the comments if this sounds like something that you may want to try. It may just feel like a really big load off your shoulders. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.